This is Compass FM, CEO for Age Concern here in Canterbury, and a regular on Compass FM is Simon Templeton. A very good morning to you, Simon.
Good morning, John.
How are you coping with the lockdown, mate? Have you got a spare room there all set up as an office or what?
I have. We're fortunate to have a spare room, so I've got all my gear from work and set up here, busily working away.
And I would imagine you are busy too. How is the lockdown in general affecting our elderly people overall, Simon, before we get into some specifics?
Yeah, it's really interesting. I guess one of the phrases we're using around here at the moment is experience brings resilience. And we're certainly finding that, most older people are actually coping pretty well. There's certainly the older who perhaps are more used to being at home most of the time anyway, for whatever reason. They're finding it reasonably life as usual.
Yep, just life as usual, as you say. What about those, though, that don't have family around, don't have internet access? And a lot of elderly people don't, or then again, a lot do as well. But for those that don't, access for food and that sort of thing, 70-plus-year-olds have been told you can't go out. What's the story there, Simon?
Yeah, that's certainly the message we are spreading amongst all the people we're in contact with, is if you are over 70, it is a really good idea not to go out. And some people are still doing that, and, we're reminding them of the risk that, really what we're doing as a country here is to protect older people. And so that's fine when you've got family or friends around who can do things for you, but certainly, again, with the older, perhaps the over 80, 85-year-old, often many of them don't have access to the internet and don't have access to a credit card. And so all of these systems which are in place, like the Countdown Food online, student volunteer armies doing some brilliant work in that space, but you need access to the internet to order it, and you need a credit card to pay for it. So that really is probably the biggest challenge that older people are facing at the moment.
Yeah, I can imagine that really is a bit of a hurdle for older people. Is Age Concern keeping in touch with a lot of older people? Are you initiating calls to them?
Yes, we are. So we are calling all of the people that we are usually in contact with, and we've also partnered with MSD to call everybody who is on their list. So they know, obviously, everyone who's getting superannuation. They're sending us encrypted lists every day for us to call people who are getting superannuation and in their system who only have a landline. And so what they're assuming based on that is that then those people don't have the internet because they haven't got an email address and they don't have a cell phone. So we're going through that list every day, ringing several hundred people a day, working our way through that.
You have people, of course, that you deal with regularly who are, at the top end of the elderly stage of life, shall we say. People in their 90s, for instance, Simon. Are they getting special assistance from you?
Yes, they are. So that's really more that group that don't have internet access. What we're finding is actually a lot of them, the vast majority actually, are very well connected. They do have support systems in place. When we're talking to them, they're not particularly worried about the virus as such. Obviously, they're keeping away from people, so they're not so worried about that. But there are that special group of people, particularly in that older age bracket, who do need extra support at this time, and that's something that they can phone Age Concern Canterbury and get.
Age Concern is there, so people can phone you, of course. Most elderly people at least have a landline, so quickly, just what is the phone number, Simon?
Yeah, so they can ring us on 3660903, or if they're out of town and the toll call's a barrier, they can call us on 0800 803344. Okay,
or ring Citizens Advice and they will put you in touch with Age Concern, of course, if you miss those phone numbers, or there's good old 018 ring directory, of course, and get in touch with Age Concern. Just quickly before you go, Simon, the government, I see, have increased the winter power supplement for older people from the $20, was that a week or a fortnight, up to now $40, I believe.
So that was a week.
That was a week, and that has been doubled to $40. So that is good news for our elderly this winter, yeah?
It really is. It's a fantastic move by the government. It's something that everyone will just get automatically, so it's not something anyone has to apply for. It will just turn up in your pension payment from May 1, so less than a month to go, and that will enable people to, keep warm over winter. We know winter's a time of bugs and other things, and we're certainly trying to keep everyone especially well this winter, so you're not having to go out and about, you're not having to go into hospital, and that's a great way of the government supporting the older people.
Certainly is. Simon Templeton, everybody, CEO and a regular guest here at Compass FM's